Welcome back, everybody, to the ESL Legendary Series Finals. I am Doa. With me is Nimsh and Frodan, and we've made it all the way to the end. We are about to check out the grand finals, but first, let's take a look at the bracket, guys. Let's take a look at where we've come from, what we've seen today. It's been quite a bit. Of course, in our first match of the day, and Darren 3-1 over James, and Orange 3-2 over RDU. Our first, perhaps a little bit of surprising match of the day. Then now Gaiden 3-1 over Life Coach, who is possibly favored to win the whole thing. And then Amaz 3-1 over Sir Christian. From there on, it got a little bit crazier in the semifinals. We've seen so many awesome matches today. What really stands out for you guys so far?
Well, for me, the thing that stands out is that in the final, we'll have one player who is invited and one player who qualified.
Right.
Orange, one of the guys everything, and now he is in the final. So he's representing the amount, the volume of matches that he went through, which is amazing. What I really like also is that we don't have that many 3-0s. Well, we only had one with Orange versus Indrin. But other than that, we had a lot of fair matches, a lot of really cool situations that we've seen,
yeah,
and some Ragnaros.
A lot of Ragnaros.
We've
seen, well, we haven't seen a ton of Ragnaros.
So I heard.
We've had quality over quantity. Frodan missed a little bit of it, but man,
I did.
Ragnaros, if you were the one who played Ragnaros, things went really well generally. If you were the one...
I was reading up a little bit, talking to some players. You know, I'm actually really proud of Orange. You know, to say it bluntly, he got screwed out of his previous highest achievement. With going into Pinnacle, it was definitely an unfortunate scenario, but I was messaging him and I was like, hey, look, just keep doing your thing and the results will show for himself, because this guy is a kid who works really hard. He practices an insane amount. He's on a team with D-Star with players like Freaky, excuse me, that people don't really know about, but those guys are talented players. They practice their butts off, and I really look forward to see what he can bring in the finals against a player who's been to this stage before many times. It's Amaz.
Yeah, oh, yeah, certainly. And we've seen Orange having some trouble exiting the booth before.
We have.
But he has no trouble winning those matches. So right now, you know, facing Amaz, it's really hard to say who is favored.
Yeah, it is, honestly. Orange has played so well. He's seemed so prepared for everyone he's played against. Amaz, the same way, too. Bringing his priest deck, you know, kind of showing his own flair, as he always does. Let's check out our class matchups between these two players. Amaz, of course, bringing Warrior, Priest, Mage. Just saw it win in our last match. And then Orange, Hunter, Rogue, Warrior for him. Two very different Warrior decks for these guys as well.
What I really like for the Conquest format, as opposed to the previous format, is that right now we have a lot of matches where players bring different classes. Yeah. And even though we have Warrior versus Warrior here, those decks are totally different.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I really like this Neo Warrior deck that's playing the bomb lobbers and cards like that, so that way it can gain more of the mid-range board backwards. You know, it's interesting to see how well Zalay did it back with, I'm sure you guys brought it up too, but Zalay back at the ESL Legendary Series, when he was playing things along these lines, it had a high impact, and I think people are really exploring that Warrior can deviate a little bit from its heavy control-centric decks.
Finally,
that Amaz is playing. I mean, people tried playing Mech Warrior for about 2.5 days, and they said, you know what? I like winning a lot better.
That was me, yeah. I tried to make it. I even had a spell-less Mech Warrior deck. It was only minions, and I'm like, I got to like rank 12 on the ladder, and I'm like, that's it. I can't win anymore with this. I give up. Well, we're in game, guys. Game number 1, Amaz versus Orange here at the grand finals of the ESL Legendary Series. Amaz bringing the Mage and Orange bringing the Hunter for game number 1.
Already a tough matchup for Orange with his mid-range Hunter. He needs to use that Knife Juggler, he needs to use Eager Hornbow, so he's getting the cards that can stop Amaz. We discussed this matchup before, but just to recap, you need to be, like, Amaz just needs to play those mechs.
Yeah.
Trade well, extend the board, get the synergies, where Orange has to stop it. If Orange is able to stop it with cards like Juggler, Unleash the Hounds, which he just got, Bow, he will be able to win the game because he wins at late game. He can also play around Mirror Entity that Mage is having. But then if he doesn't stop it, he just loses. Amaz will steamroll through him.
Very true, and looks like a really solid hand, honestly, for Amaz coming out early on. Got that Clockwork Gnome. Yeah, it's a bit vulnerable to the Haunted Creeper, but look at that. Following it up with a Snow Chugger. That 2/3 minion, the 3 health, really doing a lot for Amaz right now on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things where the Knife Juggler will come down, and as much as you don't want to increase the power of the board, that 3 health will be valuable because it guarantees that it won't die to these juggles. And absorbing 2 shots?
Yeah,
oh, wow.
It is.
All right. Well, I mean, now obviously you want to still remove this Knife Juggler as a priority, so that's a good thing for Amaz to make sure to keep his health if he's going to do that anyways.
Basically, the Snow Chugger was able to soak 5 points of damage.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it's for. I mean, it's for hitting people, actually. But if it can't hit people, that's what it should be for. Knife Juggler dealt with. Cogmaster, a big threat as well, too. So 2 Spectral Spiders coming out of that Haunted Creeper for Orange here. How is he going to end up using that? Thinking about the Eaglehorn Bow.
Honestly, this is one of the best openings for Hunter versus Mech Mage. You were able to use Haunted Creeper and Juggler in tandem. You do have those Spectral Spiders. Now you develop the Eaglehorn Bow to be able to clear those minions. And the Mad Scientist is not going to die unless Amaz actually pings it, which means that Piloted Shredder is going to be dropped without any secret being played.
Yeah, you know what's interesting to me? We already see the Archmage Antonidas coming in. We already have 1 spare part in the hand. We have a source for another one in that Clockwork Gnome. This could be a ticket for Amaz to do a ton of burst damage in the later turns.
Oh yeah, certainly. Right now it's looking very good for Orange. He is able to play that Piloted Shredder. He will be able to kill Mad Scientist to get that Mirror Entity and then counter the Mirror Entity with Web Spinner next turn.
3-2 out of that, not too bad, huh, Frodan?
Yeah, it's a little annoying to the fact that it could easily poke into the Pilot Shredder's initial body, but again, you still get some exchange from it. And you have to make sure that as long as you have something on the board so you don't fall too far behind, because the Mech Mage, as soon as they start running away with the board, you're in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's where things like Unleash the Hounds would come into play, assuming they have a lot of low health minions.
Yeah, but you can't be sad here being Orange. You dealt with all the mechs, you dealt with the early pressure, and the mages are already running out of cards.
And it looks like it's just going to be face damage for Amaz, just trying to put the pressure on. And that's the thing, in these types of games, you want to be the person controlling the pace of it. You want them responding to you rather than the other way around.
But there is the Web Spinner to counter Mirror Entity.
Yeah.
Not really granting much pressure from us. And Unleash the Hounds to grant 4 minions.
You remember what the last time we saw Mirror Entity grant a Web Spinner, though? That ended up with a mage getting Malorn. So it can backfire.
That's so sick.
It can backfire. We've seen it. I know, yeah. We've seen it already happen today. I don't know if it's going to happen again. Whoa, shielded Minibot.
That's a great minion to get.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, this is what happens. Orange is able to clear the board and
Tusk board.
Well, it's not Malorn.
What an interesting series of random elements that just happened here. I mean, the Time Rewinder is actually one of the worst spare parts you can get with Antonidas because you don't necessarily want to bounce it back to your hand.
Yeah.
He was really hoping for the Cloak Field that you could have gotten instead. And as a result, you got the Stone Tusk board too, and the Stone Tusk board is like, well, that's cool. It's basically another mage hero power.
True.
For 1 mana.
It's cheaper. It's half the cost, Frodan.
I'm looking at the Stone Tusk board, and I'm remembering the Polish saying to give somebody a pig, which means like to jinx someone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you think Amaz, he's going to give him the pig right now?
Well, it's kind of, Amaz was given the pig by the weapon.
Oh, okay. We gave it right back.
Give him the
charged
pig,
it right in.
Just give the pig back.
Well, there you go. Everyone's giving. What a pleasant game we have going on.
It's another good draw.
Stranglethorn Tiger came out of the Web Spinner for Orange, and that is a very strong card to pick up in this matchup.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the fact that he can play Haunted Creeper too is pretty strong. It doesn't really give that strong a minion. And of course, it sets it up for a really powerful Dr. Boom as well. Amaz is in a lot of trouble.
Amaz really needed the stealth spare part. He didn't get it. Right now, he might be forced to just play this Antonidas as a minion, as a body on board.
You think so?
Well, we've seen him actually win a game from having to do that in the past. I mean, it is a big body on the board. It does give you a little bit of sustain. It's not ideal, but in dire situations like this, what other choice do you really have?
Yeah, I think because he has still 28 health, he can still not play it this turn. But then, like, the spare parts he's having are not great. Like, you are going to trade one of the spare parts into Fireball, but how does it advance your position, especially while we are going to see Dr. Boom being dropped this turn?
Yep, I would imagine. 4 more damage, and there is Dr. Boom and the Boombots. It sounds like a band, but it's actually a really good Hearthstone card.
It's an amazing Hearthstone card.
Yes, it is.
Right now, how do you pull yourself out? It's really difficult because you don't really have the reach to kill him, even if you pick up the next best spells.
Yeah.
Like, say he picks up Fireball with Antonidas. Even if he drew second Antonidas, he wouldn't still be within kill range. And even beyond then, if he drew a third Fireball, you still have to weave into hero power, so he's very far away from being able to kill the Hunter. And of course, he's worried about potentially dying too.
Oh, really no worries at all for Orange at the moment. He's got some good options. He could drop that Savannah Highmane. He could drop the Stranglethorn Tiger. He could do more damage with the Eaglehorn Bow.
Even if Amaz gets Doomsayer out of this Pilot Shredder, that's not enough. Doomsayer can be easily killed. How much damage is there overall?
There's 22 damage?
I haven't done the math yet.
If this Boombot hits the face, actually, he could have... If it hit the face and did, I think, 3 damage, it could have killed him, potentially. If he used kill command weapons in the bow. Either way, it's still a lot of damage that's pouring in, and he's definitely on the lethal draw here.
Either way, Amaz is probably dead. That's what it's looking like in game number 1 of the finals.
Amaz needs an I win card. This is not an I win card, this is a Mad Scientist.
Yep, that's right. And Mad Scientist is nice in the early game, but on turn 9, not so great. There's a concede, and Orange taking game 1 of the finals, getting one step closer to the money, to the points. Good start for Orange.
Yeah, I think there's also like a little frustration of just like not being able to get the right cards at the right time. If I was Amaz, what I'd do is probably ping the Boombot to get the bad RNG out of the way. So like it would have gotten hit you for 4 and you're like, okay, good. So
that's right.
That's out of the way. But of course, you know, then you might risk using your good RNG up and pinging it and hit you for 1.
You have to be careful.
Amaz goes for a conservative game-ending approach.
There's also a very important win for Orange because this wasn't a great matchup. And Amaz losing to that, well, his Mech Mage is still there. His Mech Mage can still win. But then Orange is ahead.
Yeah, getting a win with it on that Hunter, very, very valuable. Guys, when we come back, we'll see if Amaz can tie things up. He's down a game. Can he come back and make it 1-1 with Orange when we get back? The second game of the ESL Legendary Series Grand Finals will happen. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back. And we're back, guys. ESL Legendary Series Grand Finals. Orange versus Amaz. Orange up a game right now. Got to win with that Hunter, but it's locked away. He can't use it anymore. Now, looking at the decks that remain, we're going to see it in a moment, but I want to ask you guys, what do you think we're going to see these players bring out?
Oh man, it's tough because, like, looking at the lineups, Amaz has a Priest, and Priest can win versus Warrior, but it's super tough to win versus Rogue.
Right.
So if Orange is able to win with his Warrior versus anything else, then he's only left with the Rogue, and Priest will have to face the Rogue eventually. And it's a very bad matchup that's hard to win. So if Orange takes the Warrior now, and Amaz doesn't take the Priest, and Orange wins with the Warrior, Orange will be in a very good position to win the whole match.
Well, we'll see if he does it. I mean, Amaz could kind of call that bluff, play Warrior himself. I guess we find out right now what's it going to be.
No, this is the right choice here. Like, the Rogue needs to win now so that Priest has a guaranteed matchup against Warrior. So even if Amaz loses this, it's still like sort of what he wants. Of course, it's not ideal by any means, but this was the worst matchup on paper. So I absolutely agree. And of course, if Orange was attuned to this, he would make sure to play Warrior to make sure to avoid that, so he can always guarantee the Rogue against the Priest. And as a result, you have these weird Conquest metagame minds that try to go at it.
I love it, man. This is the first tournament I've casted with the Conquest rule set, and I love it. It is so cool to see the mind games between these players. And here we go. Amaz on the Priest, his famous Priest deck, and Orange playing Rogue.
This is his signature deck as well. Orange, we had Orange at the interviews. He said he's most comfortable with the Rogue deck.
That's true.
This matchup is really good for the Rogue.
Yeah, it certainly is. And right away, right off the bat, we see a deadly poison, something that's capable of dealing with not one, but both of the Northshire clerics in Amaz's deck. And Amaz perhaps wisely throwing that back. Circle of Healing plus Northshire cleric plus another minion, pretty strong combo early on. We'll see if he goes with it.
Frodan, I asked you last year, I asked you this question, I think 40 times. Can you tell me?
Just that little?
I think 40, 50 times maybe even. How does the priest win?
Well, I think we should back up and even explain a little, because you know, maybe people don't know exactly why Rogue is so good against Priest. Maybe you've explained it, but I'm going to go ahead and indulge myself and test myself. Professor Nimsh.
Okay.
This is my exam
Go
time.
ahead.
So the reason why I think the Rogue is so favored is because Priest has a very difficult time pressuring the Rogue significantly. Rogue crumbles under two things. Either one, heavy early game pressure on the board, and it can't remove everything in time with a big Blade Flurry or an AoE sweep. And, like, you know, that's why Harvest Golems and this Pilot Shredders are really effective against it. The Death Rattle sticks to the board,
right.
And as a result, it just takes a lot of damage trading. That's why Face Hunter is like so powerful against it. Or the late game is just like so hard for it to finish off, like against a Warrior, where it's like not only stalling and gaining, but it's gaining health, and it puts you out of the range for the burst. So I think Priest is sort of in that weird, awkward stage where it can't really pressure, but it can't go above 30, and it's like it can't really do any of the things that really supposed to push Rogue out of the game.
Nice early play for Orange. Plays that Blood Mage Thalanos, and that gives him 3 damage on the backstab to immediately handle that Northshire Cleric. I was going to ask if you think that's overreaching on turn 1. He did it anyway. Do you think that was too much?
No, I think that was fine. Basically, what Frodan said, Rogue is just going to draw those cards, and he has a lot of ways to deal with the Priestess board.
True.
And eventually, in the long game, Rogue is going to win. I've seen in many games where Priest took the route of aggro, like trying to force being aggressive with Coin Dark Cultist into Dark Cultist, into Okanai Soul Priest, and, you know, being super aggressive and getting Rogue to 10 points of health and then stopping and then starting to heal himself because he doesn't have the cards to follow up on that strategy.
Amaz, not even the mana heal against his opponent on turn 2.
Yep.
He's playing seriously this time. Banner Knives, just for the draw. Not too useful against Priests anyway.
Wow. Double preparation and Gadget Sand.
I mean, he's getting all of the stall. I see that you know, Orange is running 2 Gadget Sand Auctioneers. Let's just make it again back to Miracle Rogue. Like what did Priest used to need to do to beat Miracle Rogue in the past Nimsh?
Well, I concede and get another deck. I think like Priest versus Miracle Rogue was one of the worst matchups possible because, well, you can't pressure, they just get to Gadgets and draw all the cards, get all the things they need, and just kill you.
We talked to Orange a little bit earlier in one of the interviews. We asked, you know, do you want to try to bring your own flavor of Miracle back? And he said he did. He's going to try with this tournament. It's been working really well so far.
The fun part is that even though Amaz is really disadvantaged in this match, it's something he wanted. He wants the equation.
Yeah.
And if the Rogue wins, Rogue is out. And then Amaz just needs to win versus Warrior 2 times. 3 times. 3 times, yeah.
He can beat it here. He can set himself up for possibly a comeback. Play back to Amaz now, and there's that Zombie Chow. A little bit late, and not too useful versus a Rogue as well. There's not a lot of early minions that the Zombie Chow helps you control, so it will be just the Okanai Priestess. Soul Priest, rather. And the Zombie Chow. Why not? It's his body on the board.
Well, looking at his board from Amaz's perspective, he was able to fill the turn 5 slot. He will have that Sylvanas. He has Dr. Boom, so he can try being aggressive and building up the board. But then again, Orange has everything. Like the Gadgets and preparation, Deadly Poison, Lotheb. He can do what he wants.
Yeah, Priest is about like 1 or 2 turns too slow here. If Rogue had to deal with this board and it was still taking damage on the following turn, it'd be a little bit more manageable. But right now, it's a struggle. Although I do like the quality of the hand of the Priest, generally speaking. There are some really nice, powerful cards in here. The fact that the Wild Pyromancer comes in here, not really that big of a deal, but I really like this trade here, doing 5 damage guaranteed with the Okanai Soul Priest conversion. And from here, Amaz is putting on some pretty decent pressure on the board.
Wow, that is huge, actually, bringing him down to 19 health. There's the Gadget Sand. Will he have that big turn? We're going to start out with the Deadly Poison. He does have that Blade Flurry as well. You're absolutely right.
Well, he needs the Blade Flurry.
He needs the Blade Flurry, right. You're absolutely not right. I was not right either.
Well, he has Fan of Knives, so he is fetching a lot of cards here.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole point is drawing cards is cool. That's the fun part of it. You can also shiv. In fact, Blade Flurry, not that necessary here, but it's also a really important card in general to have against the Priest.
Well, it looks like you can shiv the Lightbringer at least. Or Light Warden, rather.
Attack it with weapon.
Oh, yeah,
right.
right.
Priest out of the way.
All right.
He was able, what is really important here, he was able to cycle a lot of cards from his hand. Like preparations are cards which don't do much, it's like 0 cost cards, and right now his hand is full with quality cards.
So if you are Amaz, how do you approach this now?
With Holy Nova, wait. I'm thinking like how much damage can Light Warden deal, and is it worth it? Because he can also play Dr. Boom.
He could.
But then like leaving Auctioneer on board is just bad.
Yeah, the Auctioneer represents too big of a threat, although
there's only one spell.
Yeah, there's only one spell in the hand. It is a sap though, and that's pretty painful considering the boombots might not do much. Especially if they build up like a board with Violet Teacher stuff.
If you play Pyromancer and then Velen's Chosen on your Light Warden, that should give you enough to kill the Auctioneer with the Light Warden, shouldn't it? It's a little bit awkward, but you'd get rid of it anyway.
Oh, that's a good point. You could do that.
Yeah. So he has a way to deal with the Auctioneer.
What about...
It's clunky. It's clunky. It's not good, but...
Well, it's actually not too clunky. It's pretty mana efficient. If you use Wild Pyromancer Village Chosen, you heal, right? So that way it gets a little bit more damage on the Light Warden. Than
I think Velen's Chosen just gives you stats, doesn't it?
So you would heal the Light Warden.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Before you do that. Okay, so Lotheb to deny spells also okay.
Yeah, that works too.
Yeah, that's one of the best ways to deal with the Gadgets and the Auctioneer. Instead of killing it, you just slam Lotheb. And Amaz is the one applying pressure. We told, we were talking about it, how hard it is for Priest to apply pressure. Amaz is doing it.
It is. There are still ways for you to deal with this pretty effectively and still put yourself out of range. Like Priest, until they actually kill you, you're still like, even like 8 to 9 health still feels like a comfortable margin, right? Like, what are they going to do? And Holy Fire's not even that common anymore.
Yeah, that is true.
Well, but look at the situation. Like, Orange is stuck with a lot of minions there. SI7 can deal damage. Deckhand is also important here.
Clear.
Well, this is one of those situations where, unfortunately, he really could use that Blade Flurry, and he's just not really finding it. Just playing some minions now. SI7 agent is going to be able to do a bit of damage, but it's kind of looking like he's going to still end up in a situation where he has to attack one of these minions.
And it's probably fine because it's not like Priest is going to burst him.
Yeah, still makes you nervous.
He probably knows that there is no Holy Fire in Amaz's deck. He knows that there is a Holy Nova.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a board clear here. I think this is definitely the best way to tackle it.
Yeah.
And from here on, Amaz is going to have to search for another way for him to clear the board.
Well, I think he just developed Dr. Boom.
Yeah. Dr. Boom is the best way for him to try and end this game as soon as possible. There is still an ounce of hope. I mean, it's not like Rogue is on the verge of killing him.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He has still a couple of turns. And Sylvanas, it's kind of like a blank wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 2 saps and like means if Sylvanas comes down. Well, I assume that you want to try to get rid of this Dr. Boom.
Well, Orange can heal as well with that Earthen Ring Farseer, so he can get a little bit more sustain, I suppose. Yeah, you can't really sap Dr. Boom. You don't want to give him more boom bots.
Well, I think the thing about sapping Dr. Boom is because you can't deal with the 7/7 any other way.
Yeah, and you are at 10. It's like, even if you're at 13, you don't want to leave Dr. Boom on board.
Yeah, I mean, you could run your minions into it, but that's still awkward. I guess this gives, more targets for the boom bots when they eventually do go off.
This might be an amazing Holy Nova right now.
Yeah. Or Pyromancer.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. If you attack first with both boombots and then Holy Nova with Pyromancer, right?
Yeah.
Because then the Death Rattle triggers simultaneously as the new minion spawns from the Pilot Shredder.
Yep.
Okay, because the Death Rattle triggers in that order.
I think, well, it triggers in the order that the minion was played, right? Older goes first?
Yes.
You're right. Yeah, so then the Pilot Shredder would actually pop second.
Yeah, that's true. He'd get whatever would be left with the piloted Shredder, rather.
Gotcha.
Oh, wow, that's a nice hit. He is having all the minions ready for this Holy Nova Pyromancer.
And here we go. The Boombot goes down. 2-3, okay.
Wow, there is a Zombie Chow. If Amaz picks Okanai Soul Priest,
He already used both of them though.
you use both.
Yeah. Right. Then he had one immediately eviscerated and killed, and then the second one.
Second one with there was a Okanai Soul
Second
Priest
one-
on turn 5. And was there Okanai Soul Priest on turn 4 as well?
I want to say that there definitely was one. Wow, what a draw!
No kidding. SI7 agent helps him deal with that Pyromancer weapon coming up now for Orange as well. He's not done quite yet, it looks like.
Not quite yet,
What's the
but
draw?
these boom bots.
Yeah, we will have another boombots, and this is how Priest applies pressure with consecutive boombots. Orange, no way to heal and no way to
Alright.
finish the game here.
I'm just gonna paint my my imagined scenario, okay, right here. So what happens is, what if Amaz has to activate his own boom bots to try lethal by getting Wild Pyromancer and then Shadow or Death his own Dr. Boom?
That would be
Can you imagine
so
this?
sick.
happen?
All right, I was thinking out loud. So that's probably not gonna happen because first of all, he doesn't have 13 mana.
Yeah.
But second of all, I'm just thinking that's kind of cool, but very much like Amaz, the way he would win.
Well, right now there is a Blade Flare, which is a very important card. Orange will be able to deal damage to face and also clear the board. A very powerful turn.
It's scary. It's really scary because of what the boom bots can do.
Yeah, you can actually die here.
You actually have a chance of dying.
Can't sap yourself. He's trying to get out of the game. He's like, I need to escape.
If Amaz
He's trying to
wins,
stab the casters. Let's be real now.
right, if Amaz wins with those boombots, that would be the sickest.
Oh man!
You gotta
It's
go
tense.
for it. You gotta go for it. Where are the boombots gonna go? Okay, he's gonna activate it first.
okay.
Oh, well,
Not
it's
good.
still a good boombot.
That's true.
Mind control.
Mind control. Huh. Probably not gonna use it this turn. I say just play Dr. Boom again, huh?
Well,
Although 10 damage on the board, we know there's more for the weapon. He used that deadly poison, so there's potential for Rogue to do a lot of damage here too if you don't deal with it.
I'm
Amaz
trying to
and-
count how much damage is there with oil getting casted on the weapon.
Yeah.
That will be a 6 attack weapon, which means at least 12 damage.
13 because of spell power.
Yeah, if Azure Drake survives, there's 13 damage with the Flurry. If he is able to combo the Tinker's Oil, and he should be because he has piloted Shredder,
Yeah.
at least now,
Shouldn't be a problem.
that's 3 more from a minion. 13. If one of the 4/4, if Azure Drake survives, that's lethal. If Gadgetsan survives, he's 1 off. Assuming that the 2/2 is dead here.
Either way, suddenly it's a little bit tricky for Amaz. He's got that one Boombot left.
So assuming he heals himself, this boom bot needs to make an impact play though on the minion on the board.
It's got to do like 4 to something.
You know what's crazy? If he replaces the Dr. Boom and then he gives himself a chance for a tie
Right.
with the Flurry. Okay, he tied it.
Oh, you're right. The blade.
Oh man, that would be insane. He's just gonna mind control the Azure Drake.
Wow.
And he actually kills it. That is huge, huge, huge for Amaz.
Oh my goodness.
That was so close. Oh wait, there's
kidding.
a second.
Oh,
Does he
second
have
Dark
enough mana?
Sword Oil.
Oh yeah, he does.
That could be
that's
it. Is that it?
That's it for sure. That's so much damage
6.
1 and 2, and he's got enough for Blade
Wow.
Flurry. That is a ton
Oh
of
my
damage.
goodness.
9 plus another one. And in the end, despite that play, Amaz will go down to the Blade Flurry. Orange is up 2-0 now in the ESL Legendary Series Grand Finals.
What a game.
Crazy things
I
are
would
afoot.
like. We talked about it. That Priest
Yeah.
is really behind.
It
This
just-
is a very tough matchup.
Blade Flare
Yeah.
is like one of the most powerful cards against Priest because it just
Jeez.
sits there as the burst combination. It's as if that was like the second Leroy in a way, right? The Shadow Step, sorry.
Yeah.
Because that burst combination comes from the weapon. Unless they have the Harrison just disarm him,
You basically
then
use
you
it
can't really
twice.
do anything. And from that point on, that's when you have the auctioneer, you're drawing to the weapon damage, you're drawing to the Blade Flurry, you sit on it, and then you're just bursting from 20.
But again, Amaz was so close. This is like how this matchup goes. And
Yep.
with those boombots, there was a small chance of winning, but still, this matchup was really difficult. And right now, he's down to his warrior. Well, Amaz actually has all decks available, but Orange has his warrior, and Amaz needs to win with all the decks versus the warrior.
I'm so
Now,
happy for
how-
Orange, man. It's just so cool to see him, again, make this type of run from the qualifiers after having just like the most awful luck in terms of his previous tournament achievements. I'm actually really happy for him.
Yeah.
How often do you see a player play Dr. Boom 3 times and still lose?
Wow.
It's
You're
crazy
right.
stuff. Stuff to think about. Food for thought as we take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll see if Orange can finish up the series, become our champion, or if Amaz will begin the comeback. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back right after this. And welcome back, guys, to the ESL Legendary Series Grand Finals. I'm Doa. With me are Nimsh and Frodan. And guys, we may see the end of the tournament right here. Orange is 2 games up on Amaz. Amaz just not able to make anything work quite yet. He's on the verge of going second place. Orange on the verge of taking it all. $13,000 for first place. And that 100 points towards the Hearthstone World Championships at the end of the year. That is pretty big for a player that's really looking for his first big tournament win.
Oh man, I'm so excited. Those 2 friends are battling there. 1 invited player, 1 qualified player. Orange bringing those interesting decks down to his warrior with a lot of changes. No Alex Straza and a Bomb Lobbers, Frauding Berserkers. What is this deck even? Amaz has to win versus it 3 times with 3 different decks.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy. You know, what do you think is the best chance for Amaz to get started well, Frodan?
I mean, anywhere really. Like warrior versus warrior is definitely winnable. Generally speaking, if you talk to guys at KitKast, they like being slightly more aggressive. I think cards like Frothing Berserker could definitely capitalize on that aggression, but of course, things like Death Spite can shut it down easily too. So that's just being optimistic. I personally think start at your comfort zone. He likes Priest. You have to win against this Warrior Priest anyways. I think I like to stick with Priest going into Warrior.
Well, you're absolutely right. Amaz is going to do just that, pulling out the Priest against the Warrior. This could be it. Amaz needs to win right now if he's going to stay alive in the ESL Legendary Series Grand Finals against Orange. And Orange, we've seen him surprise people with this Warrior deck. It's much more mid-range. It's much more aggressive, and I feel like it's very, very good in this meta right now. It's been great in this tournament. Think he can take it?
Well, I'm really curious to see how this particular list will do versus the Priest. Originally, this matchup is really tight, but maybe if Orange is more aggressive, it will give him an edge.
Well, here we go, guys. It has begun. Amaz on his favorite class of Priest, Orange on the Warrior. A win for Orange here means the tournament is over. A win for Amaz means we keep going in this best of 5. What do you think about those starting hands? Akanai Soul Priest, is it worth it to keep that against Warrior?
I don't think so. Like, what Amaz usually does playing versus Warrior is that he uses the hero power a lot.
Yeah.
Basically, I was casting a couple of games where he was playing Priest versus Warrior. I was saying he can do that play, and he was using hero power. And I was like, all right, next turn. He can do this. And he was like, hero power pass, hero power pass. So how he plays this matchup is he's taking his opponent to fatigue and puts himself in a comfort zone where his opponent is confused what to do. And then Amaz has all the options in the world to trade, get all the removal out of the way, and then win at turn like 12, 13.
See, I feel like that would work against traditional controllers, but against this one that's more aggressive, I don't think you really have the same option, right? I mean, it's going to be coming at you with stuff early that you sort of need to deal with.
I mean, it's slightly like more aggressive, but it's only because the other one is like so slow.
Well, yeah.
You're waiting, you're just playing the control game until you get aggressive. There's also fringe scenarios where like, you just happen to hit them both in the face with a Death Spite, and they're like, oh, they're 22 and I have Grommash, so maybe I should just like pressure because I have Rag. Generally speaking, this is more mid-rangey. It's not really like an aggressive warrior. I would just say it's like a mid-range warrior, for lack of a better word.
Well, I mean, we're so used to control warrior. Anything that's a little bit less than that seems a bit aggro, right, for warrior, but it is much more mid-range.
Sure.
That's absolutely
wow,
true.
that thought steal. If I would tell you, Frodan, that we are going to see the finals, Orange versus Amaz, and Thought Steal versus Warrior is going to steal a Frauding Berserker and a Spellbreaker, would you believe me?
Sort of, just because it sounds like a very specific scenario. Like, if you said, like, Thought Steal, like, the Ragnaros and the Grommash, and I'd be like, well, now you're sounding, like, ridiculous, but in this scenario, it doesn't seem too absurd. Those are very, like, average cards to steal. In fact, it's good because that way he's not getting shield slams, those cards won't do him any good.
Well, he needs a mid-game. I mean, Amaz needs a way to sort of add some pressure right now, and that Spellbreaker is pretty much perfect.
Yeah, for sure. The Death Spite was a good draw right now. It's a good way for him to keep the board clear from the impending threats following up.
How do you guys think, how important is the card draw? Because in normal Warrior versus Priest is control versus control. You want to draw as many cards as possible to get the quality plays. But here, is it different, or do you still capitalize on the North Shore Cleric?
Well, looks like he decided to take out the Cleric anyway, so that one's out of commission now.
Yeah, but I think you don't want to fall behind the draw, even though this is again you're more of like you're a quicker version of the control warrior. I don't think you're necessarily the beatdown player. I think you still scale pretty decently. Although maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure because there are cards like Mind Control, right? And you don't have as many late game threats as you normally would. You're missing, Alex Straza in this type of warrior deck.
This is a standard Amaz play. Turn 5.
Well, he knows what he's
That means
doing.
he knows how to play Priest.
Yeah, that's right.
Honestly.
Well, Soul Priest may be the play here, and then Hero Power onto that Piloted Shredder. Do you feel like that gives him enough presence, or are we just going to see, maybe frothing with the Dark Cultist?
It's really curious. Like, I'm thinking if he is in need of clearing the board right now, or can he just heal himself?
Yeah.
Maybe heal himself in pass. Like, I've seen him do that before.
I don't feel like that'd be the worst play because he has 2 Circle of Healings with the Arcanine. So if it got really bad, he'd be okay.
It's true. He could just kind of wait it out and see what comes in the next turn or two. But against Warrior, where you have things like Shield Maid and stuff like that, you're going to be a little bit beyond Circle of Healing. So I don't think the Frothing Berserker is the worst play. Still got to use his Hero Power.
He wants to get him to use the weapon charge, so that way the Alkanite Soul Priest becomes a little bit easier, because if he uses Circle of Healing, then Alkanite Soul Priest doesn't get killed off by the 1 damage Whirlwind effect.
Also kind of like a Bomb Lobber bait.
I agree.
Because you have something so the Bomb Lobber can come, this is a 4 toughness minion, and then you get more value from the Okanai Soul Priest Circle of Healing combo.
True. Either way, it seems like Orange has a decent way to deal with this while still giving him damage to handle the Soul Priest later.
Yeah.
And he's not,
going to
take the bait. I don't think
Yeah,
so.
this only shows the experience that Orange has in this matchup.
Nah, it's almost too juicy. You have Goral. Like, you can be able to take out anything you want after that, right?
That is true, yeah. And the Shield Main's going to give you plenty of armor to help you use that Gorehowl without much risk. So
yeah, that's a good point.
Solid play.
All right, this has to be the Okanai Soul Priest Circle of Healing. Use the Hero Power, kill the Shield Maiden.
Yeah, it's almost too easy to pass that up.
Yep, there it is.
Or that'd be too hard to pass up, excuse me.
Well, it's too obvious to pass up. Maybe we'll put it that way.
Sure.
We'll figure out something.
Let's keep thinking of ways to call me stupid.
Hey, you saw it, man. I don't know. All right. Piloted Shredder comes down after the Fiery War Axe.
It's actually a Sludge Belcher.
Sludge Belcher. What did I say?
Piloted Shredder. Because
I thought he was grabbing for it, but
it was
the other one, yeah.
It was a good card as well.
Faked me out, man.
Man, those HP tablets, you just got to get used to them. They're like, you get the tabletop experience, but you really got to make sure you grab it precisely. So practice your mechanics.
I have to practice.
You got to work your way from an iPad up to an HP.
Apparently, I need to practice my eyeball mechanics, I guess.
All right, so we're going to see some Sludge Belcher on Sludge Belcher action.
Yeah.
That's something I would like to watch on the Sunday evening.
Well, to each his own, right? 50 Shades of Sludge Belcher.
All right, watch this Bomb Lobber hit or fail.
Nimsh's desires are unconventional. Found out.
Kind of.
You don't know love, Doa.
Is it love? We're getting really deep now.
I don't know.
We're getting beyond.
You're asking me
Hearthstone,
questions. I'm 24.
Yeah, we're
and
kind of
you're asking me about love.
Gotta start.
You're asking a guy who plays Hearthstone and talks a lot about video games about love.
Well, we do love Hearthstone.
We love Hearthstone and video games. That's pretty much it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Seems solid. I'll take it.
I'm glad we can circle jerk together, guys. It's awesome.
Well,
thank you for joining the
thank you, Frodan. If you just joined us now,
appreciation thread is on the way, sir.
If somebody just tuned in and heard that as the first thing, Frodan, what do you think they would think? That's very awkward.
They would say, man,
man, Hearthstone is so cool. That's what they would think.
We need more professional casters.
Well, in light
That's
of
what
that,
Hearthstone needs.
Well, that's the thing. Like, Warrior versus Priest is always testing Custer's insanity.
it is, man.
Actually, this used to be one of the matchups joked about. It was actually Warrior and Handlock and then Warrior and Priest. Those were the 2 matchups that used to be a little bit longer.
Well, we've been going, Nimsh and I, you and I have been going for what, like 6 hours, 7 hours now? Something like that? Yeah. Our brains have long since left our bodies. 9 hours, we just got confirmed from the director. Wow.
And it's a pity because it's a very intricate matchup. It's like it requires a lot of forward planning.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
And a lot of hero powering.
How uncomfortable is this, by the way? The fact that, you have to pass up with a lot of mana on your turn because you don't want to give an extra draw to the Akanai. It's like no matter how you cut the cake here, if you drop anything less than 3 power, you're just going to be in a bad spot because Warrior drawing extra gives them extra removal to leverage. And so dropping the Zombie Chow is pretty painful in my opinion.
Well, it's something that you kind of got to do, right? You need some sort of board presence. You need to keep the pressure off of yourself in some sort of manner.
I mean, do you have to drop that Zombie Chow? What do you think, Nimsh?
Well, the thing is, like, if not drop now, when do you drop it?
Yeah.
And
what about when you get Akanai number 2?
yeah, I know, but then like you can lose the Akanai anyway, and you will have to replay the Zombie Chow. So it's like if you use Zombie Chow as a kind of manage the board, it does something. Like this is not about health right now.
Man.
Oh.
That is a Frothing Berserker.
And he has a weapon, so that will be able to build up that Frothing Berserker pretty significantly. Although I think he wants to make it so that Frothing Berserker is a 4-attack minion, so it can't get...
BGH.
Yeah, BGH. Well, it realistically could get into BGH range.
Could be right, yeah. I mean, with this board, that Frothing Berserker is going to be building attack really fast.
Right now, Amaz will need a clear, so Orange is just going for the motions, setting up a very powerful board here.
Yeah.
He has the Pyromancer with Circle, but would be enough. With that Frothing Berserker, that might be really dangerous.
Should be okay.
Here we go. And so the Frothing Berserker up to 3 attack already. And Amaz, it's looking a bit risky, man. He's got the Pyromancer, he's got the Circle of Healing. What else is he going to draw? There's a Thought Steal. Thought Steal into Brawl. Is there a Brawl in Orange's deck? I'm trying to remember.
I'm looking at it. It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, I was going to say that's one you would cut if you're going for what.
So many minions, you just cut the Brawl.
Yeah, exactly.
He also doesn't have other cards like Whirlwind or something to get like the additional Pyromancer effect.
Yeah, he cut Execute too, I believe. So it's not like you can do a little bit of damage with Pyromancer and then finish off.
You're correct.
Well, what you can do here is you can play the Pyromancer, Circle of Healing, and then Thought Steal and hope for an Execute.
But remember, I don't think there's any Executes in that deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it's really tough. Normally you could
Well, from Amaz's perspective, though, he doesn't know that. So I think you're right. We might still see that play. That's a good point.
So Amaz is
he can clear. Can he clear the board? No, he leave the Bomb Lobber with 1 health, and plus the Vulcan would be taking a lot of damage too. That's not ideal. You're gonna switch health with the Frothing Berserker.
No, he can still Pyromancer, Circle, and Thought Steal, and then he clears.
Yep.
That's like, oh no, actually, the Bomb Lobber's 1 health.
Yeah, almost.
So it ends up trading, but he does get card draw from it.
Oh, he got the BGH.
BGH.
He would actually clear with that. No, he wouldn't. The Bomb Lobber survives with it.
This is a really painful exchange, but I think this one's really necessary considering how far Amaz is falling behind with all these smaller minions.
It didn't turn out as bad as it could have, honestly, but that Sludge Belcher, just more sustained run by Orange.
It's still a terrible situation for Amaz. He only has 2 cards he stole, nothing more.
He's deciding, do I attack it with my weapon instead? I'm going to lose the creature either way, so go for it.
You don't have to attack now, just
Yep.
Play those big Defrella minions. See what is going to happen.
Yep.
Something got stolen.
Well, Amaz has the ability to silence one of these. Velen's Chosen as well. That could make the big game hunter into something a little bit more useful, but you have to save it for like Dr. Boom or whatever is coming now.
Right. The Ragnaros is pretty much what you want to use it on.
Yep.
Or just something that's able to withstand, like, you can get pretty easy tempo with.
Yeah.
There's still ways to scale pretty strong into late game, but Amaz has used both of his draw, or all of his draw mechanics, right? Unless he has another Northshire Cleric. Am I wrong, Nibs?
I think he still has one. He used one, like, mid-game.
You're right, you're right.
I was wondering if you play Gorehowl here and just kill it.
Yeah, I was thinking about that as well. It's just easily dealing with it. Priest is not going to deal damage to you.
You can shield slam it. Okay. No, that was actually much cleaner.
Well, yeah, it's cleaner in the sense that, you know, you don't just, like, throw out the weapon charge for no reason.
Yeah, and you don't take... Yeah.
You also would activate the Whirlwind effect anyways.
Sylvanas.
Sylvanas is a nice card to get, but I'm not sure if this card is going to put Amaz back. Dr. Boom would be amazing. And I said it many times today.
I mean, Sylvanas is still one of the better
Dr. Boom is
cards.
always amazing. There's Ragnaros, but you got to be careful here because if you hit Sylvanas, you could be giving that right away, but it's a pretty good chance. I mean, I think he could go for the win right here. It's a 50-50. No, it's actually not. He'd be 1 health remaining.
Oh my god, we're going to see Ragnaros. This is not lethal, but it is still exciting.
It is. It would take him down to 1. It hits him. He's down to 1 health.
I mean, Amaz
Has the
can't pull
PGH.
himself out. No, but
Yeah.
he's just
That
can't
Shadow Word
stop
Death
doing
as
it.
well, too, but he can't deal with everything on the board. He heals himself. He
No.
can't, can he?
He can try to steal the Sludge Belcher to stay alive.
Oh, that's true. He could get the taunt.
Kill his own Sylvanas with Shadow Word Death.
I think what
That
you
is
do
true.
here is you attack into Belcher, then kill your own Sylvanas, steal Ragnaros, and then BGH your own Ragnaros.
That is.
Make a statement.
Wow, I actually followed you all the way to
It's
the
about
end. I was
sending
like,
a
all right.
message, right?
Nib still has, you know, it comes some credit.
Okay.
He still wasn't able to like follow that, but I was like, oh, all right, well, he's just trolling me.
All right, now
All
this
right, all
situation is really tough.
The
Gotta get
Sludge
the taunt.
Belcher, bust
Gotta get
for
the taunt.
Amaz. No.
Oh, he gets the Armor Smith. He can heal himself. Well played for Amaz to concede, and Orange takes it 3-0.
He is your champion.
Yep, Orange wins it, the ESL Legendary Series champion. His first big tournament win. That is $13,000. That is 100 points towards the Hearthstone Championship Series. A little bit, Hearthstone World Championships rather, a little bit later this year. And how about that? Coming in, taking down so many well-known players, and now, in the end, taking down Amaz. Orange is our winner.
Great tournament, great performance by Orange. Amaz taking $6,000 and 50
Pretty good.
BlizzCon points.
I think he can pay like half a Firebat's salary with that check.
There you go. That's wonderful, isn't it?
Wow, this tournament was amazing. Amazing
Yep.
final.
The man of the moment, though, Dark Stars Orange. I want to talk a little bit more about this guy, of how hard he's worked. We know the story about Amaz. Amaz owns his own team. He's a big-time streamer, very dedicated craft, always putting out cool content for the community. But he's stretched pretty thin sometimes, and he can't always dedicate time to practice. That's an amazing run. But a guy like Orange, he's putting in equal hours to Amaz,
Yep.
but also training hardcore for Hearthstone. So this kind of result is amazing for both these guys, but I tip my hat to Orange saying, good job, well done, and good games.
Yeah, Orange, definitely a player we're going to watch for the rest of the year, if not years to come.
Yeah, and definitely Orange will be visiting other tournaments in the future, so you're going to see more of him, more of his dedication, great decks, and plays.
Yeah, the thing I like is that it seemed like he just made pretty strong plays throughout the entire time. A lot of players, when they come to this stage, they make the transition pretty roughly. They make a lot of nervous mistakes. They just don't really think clearly. We've seen players do that all the time. You know, when RDU was first starting to play on bigger stages, he was making really simple mistakes, like tapping when he had 10 cards in his hand and burning it. He eventually turned that around and started making really deep tournament runs as well, despite those, because you just have to get it out of your system. Orange, he didn't show that. He showed that. He just showed pretty clean play despite all the pressure that was on him.
And what's amazing, he's actually really emotional. When he's happy, he's showing that. Where he's sad and upset, he's showing that as well. He wasn't able to get out of the booth, but nobody could stop him to win the tournament.
That's true. It's like he was meant to stay in there until the very end, take the championship. We're going to take a quick break, guys. When we come back, an interview with our champion, Orange. Don't go anywhere, guys. This is the ESL Legendary Series. We'll be back. And welcome back, guys, to the ESL Legendary Series. I'm Doe. With me is Nimsh and Frodan, and we are also here for the third time today with Orange, but now he is here as a champion, $13,000 richer, 100 points towards the World Championships later in the year, man. I know it's cliche to ask, but we need to. How do you feel right now?
It hasn't sunk in yet. It's like totally unreal. I could never really ever dream of this. I'm just insanely happy right now. It's great.
So normally when you face your opponents, you're always thinking, I won't lose. I will win against this guy. I will win against the next guy. Now there's no one to defeat. How does this feel?
Oh, coming from a 530-man qualifier, and then also beating several pros in the top 16, I just feel like it's finally over, and I came out on top, and yeah, it's incredible.
Can you talk a little bit about? I mean, maybe they've asked, and I'm sorry I missed a couple of your previous matches. I was a little busy watching some Protoss versus Protoss. Can you explain a little bit about the preparation? I know you're a guy who works really hard. Can you talk about what the road was to win this tournament for you?
So yeah, I basically started. My starting point was after the qualifier. I started out with the lineup I had there, but then I knew that I had to change things up for the finals because it was getting outdated and such. So I guess I practiced with my team Darkstar, and especially one of my closest friends, Freaky, a lot, hours and hours every day. And they also contacted a bunch of people and that I were really impressed with, that I've seen stream and play and stuff like that. Most especially Soleil and Purple Drank, the two new additions to Team Archon. And they helped me evolve the rogue deck and the warrior deck.
Be careful, that's how they get you first. They first get you helping, and then they move you into the house.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see about that.
You know you'll be taking selfies with Nadia, and what's going to come of that?
Nobody knows, but we'll see about that, I guess.
The drama unfolds.
Yeah,
I'm just laying out every single fanfic dream he's ever had. You know what, Orange? Really good. Congratulations, man. I know you already gave credit to Freaky. That's usually a question I like to ask because there's always a group of players that help behind the winning player too. Freaky, Purple Drinks, Lay, all really good players. Is there any player that you also look up to that you'd like to give shout-outs to in terms of helping you win this tournament?
There are multiple people I look up to, but yeah, all the people on my team are people I really respect, and so there's also been Faramir and Powder has also been two people that has been helping him out a lot lately with all sorts of stuff. So a big thanks to them, and I would like to thank everyone that showed me the support and via social media and stuff today as well.
I also want to take you back a bit with regards to the match, because you won versus the previous IM Shenzhen champion. So you're basically taking the IM winner's trophy from his hands. What did you think about the matchups overall coming into the finals?
I actually liked my lineup. I know that Amaz also liked how his deck matches up against mine. But I was really comfortable going into the match. I knew that if I could, it was a lot matchup dependent, who got to lucky picks and bans, or sort of mind games, but also there's some randomness to it, and I definitely got a better end of that this time. For the second match when I could up my priest into his rogue, I felt I felt like a huge favorite, because I know that especially when I'm playing against an auctioneer in my rogue, that priest has a really hard time dealing with that. So it was the games kind of played out themselves. There was absolutely some decisions, but most of the match was decided in how the matchups panned out.
Can you also give one advice? Because I consider you right now the king of conquest. After the conquest was introduced, you went through all the qualifiers. You've defeated multiple people going without a loss. One advice to people who play conquest: what decks should they play and what should they look out for?
That advice I give to almost everyone that asks me this, because it's a question I get a lot lately. It's just to play 3 decks that you're extremely comfortable with, because in a conquest series you have to win one game with every deck, and I won multiple matches by my opponents being good with 2 of their decks and just beating me 2-0, but then they don't really know how to play the third deck, and I've been able to sweep them from there. It's just really, really comfortable. I can't say that enough times, that you need to be really comfortable with all decks and know it's inside out.
AKA get on his level.
There you go. Yeah.
That's how you win. Get on his level.
Advice from
I
the
like
king.
it.
That's
That's
so
how it
hard.
is.
God. Yeah,
Thanks.
but seriously, man, great job.
Thanks,
That was
Gordon.
really impressive overall. When's the next time we'll see you?
Yeah, hopefully not.
So
Thanks.
when's the next time we'll see you?
When's the next time? Sorry.
Hopefully not. I'm just going to peace out 13K.
Are we
Good.
retiring?
Yeah, wherever I'm from, I can buy a house in the island.
I'm
Peace
done.
out.
No, you will see me at Via Game next. Via Game House Cup, because right after I qualified for Katowice, I also qualified for that tournament.
Yeah,
so I'll be there at the end of the month. So
Awesome.
Nice.
It's pretty exciting.
Well, congratulations, man. A huge tournament win for you, Orange. And guys, what a great tournament in general. Let's take one more look at the bracket, what we saw here today. Lots and lots of great matches. Some notable players going down, new players making names for themselves. And in the end, Orange with the 3-0 over Amaz to win the ESL Legendary Series. What a great tournament we've had here. Big thank you to our sponsors, of course, HP and Intel. Thanks to you guys, our co-casters. Nimsh, Frodan, it's been a lot of fun. Ecop as well. We had Lothar join us for a little bit and Chobra for a series as well. And that's going to about do it for us here. Our production staff doing a fantastic job as well. From Katowice, I'm Doa. Thanks for watching so much the ESL Championship Series, ESL Legendary Series rather. Have a great night and we'll see you on the next one.